Square today. So this is a product brought to us from the brand. It did roll out last year, but we didn't really put a whole lot of energy behind it because we were trying to get engagement with Moxie and some of our other tools. And quite frankly, we wanted them to work out some of the kinks on the front end of it before we really launched our agents into it. So we feel like it's a good time now to start communicating with the agents. Some of it's going to be overlap with what they have available in Moxie, but we know our agents all operate differently. So we like to provide a lot of different tools for them so that they can find one that they're comfortable with and that they will be utilizing, right? It's all about that engagement, the utilization of the tools that really will drive success in their businesses. So that's why sometimes we have a lot of products that seem like they overlap. And some of them it's because the Schmidts bring them to the family, and sometimes it's because the brand brings it to us. So that is kind of why it feels sometimes like there's overlap. But who doesn't love options, right? We all like options and variety. So we're providing that to our agents. So because Prospect Square is brought to us from the brand, it is found on mycvdesk.com. I have dropped and dragged the square for myself on mine right here in the beginning. And hopefully you guys are seeing my screen.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So I don't know if you guys know this, but these are able to be moved. So you can move your apps wherever you would like because you might not have Prospect Square right here. So you may have to search for it. You can always go to the bottom where it says show all. Or you can always type it in the front on the very top search bar. If you type in Prospect Square, it'll come up for you. So once you find that in CB Desk, you just click on it and it'll launch you right into the product called Prospect Square. Not to be confused with iProspect, which is a recruiting tool that the brand has brought to us. So this is Prospect Square. A few of the things that we want to point out today are just kind of high level. We just want to begin the communication with you guys on what this product has available to the agents. And then we plan on deep diving into it at a later date, possibly on a first and third or a longer type training session. So in the upper right corner, you can drop down the menu. Your headshot should be in here. If not, it needs to be loaded into transaction plan. That's where the data is coming over from. Everything is flowing through from the brand. So it's all Dash based. And we know that transaction plan feeds Dash. So if you have any issues with the headshot, just reach out. But when you click here, you can go to My Profile. And this is where your agents will want to go to make sure that they're set up properly. Obviously, their name's going to come across from the system, but they'll want to make sure that their email address is correct, put a phone number if they don't have one. They can link through all of their social media as well. And they can also put in their office address if it hasn't come over. Now, because I have more than one office in my account, it didn't pick one. They also can make sure that their bio is in here. Again, it should feed over, but we all know technology doesn't always work correctly 100% of the time. So they'll want to go here to check that. And again, that's just right here in the upper right corner when you toggle over the headshot and go to My Profile. Now, there's a really great product tour that would highly suggest all of you go through. So if you click on product tour right here, it's going to take you step by step through all of the menu options and really explain the product to you guys. So it's a really good feature I like to point out. And I would like for you to point it out to your agents because it's very self-explanatory and it's self-paced so they can go through it as they see fit. The other place that they can go is if right here on the dashboard, the home page, you can see it's kind of light gray highlighted. We are on the home page right here. This is our dashboard with reporting. Now, obviously, I don't have very high numbers because I just jumped in myself and I've only sent one test. But as your agents are using this product, this is where it's going to report the activity that they're doing. But right here on this page, if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see right here, there's an agent guide. There's a Prospect Squares FAQ, and there's a really great video to help them create that market report guide. So if they want to go through this product self-paced, they have a lot of opportunity here for help. So I did want to point that out to you guys. So this is what the product will do for us. Over here to the left, you see we have our menu options. We all know in Moxie, our menu's across the top for the most part. Here it's over on the left-hand side. We have contacts. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory. That is where we will put in our contacts. Number one question, will my Zap contacts come over? No, darn it. Unfortunately, no. Prospect Square does not sync to any of our tools as far as contacts are concerned. So those will need to be added. There is an import-export feature. So if your agents are going to start to utilize this tool, they can export out of Zap, export out of Moxie, export out of whatever they're using, and import them into Prospect Square. Along with contacts, just like we operate in the G Suite world, in the Moxie world, and most CRM worlds, those client relationship management tools, we do have availability for groups. So maybe your agents will have a Leelanau County group. Maybe they'll have a Greater Traverse City group. Maybe they'll have a Port St. Lucie group. Wherever they're operating, they can parcel out their contacts. So as they set up these market reports, they just can send it out to that group. So that the system does allow them to organize their contacts, which is a really nice feature for them. So the whole concept of Prospect Square is to communicate data to the clients. It has these market reports. It has area, market, quarterly report, and then report settings, which of course is just like a profile. You want to go in there one time, make sure the settings are set up correctly. But these 3 reports can be set up individually, and you can do multiple ones. Like I said, if you have an agent operating in 4 different markets, they can set up 4 different market reports. And the same thing with quarterly, and the same thing with area. So these reports are pretty slick. Now let me show you one that I had saved just to save time, because there are some steps to go through to get those set up. So the agents, once they have the report, they are able to export this into a PDF. So perhaps they want to use a hybrid of our tools. Perhaps they come to Prospect Square to get the market report, get the PDF, jump over to Moxie, send out a group email, whatever it might be. So they just have a lot of options. So this is what a market report looks like. Obviously, it gives you some information based on regional MLS, listing service, blah, blah, blah. Always branded to the agent. It gives a market snapshot for sale data, pending data, sold data, and this is all being fed over from your local MLSs. Really cool map feature there. And then it just really goes into a lot of data. Sold data, sales price, difference, percent, days on market. Gives you some trend graphs, properties on the market, days. You can see there's just a lot of data. It goes into individual listings. This was based on the area around my house here in Traverse City, which is, I just used it for an example. Goes through all the pending data, goes through the sold data, and it just has a lot of detail that the agent can set up automatically to be sent out to their clients, because we all want to know what's going on in the market, right? Our markets are moving super fast these days. So our agents have the opportunity to set these up. Now, when you jump into one of these reports, we'll take the quarterly report, for example. Any report that's currently been set up will show in your list, just like it was when I went into area report. That was the one that I did yesterday. So you can always go back into it, delete it, edit it. You can always do the PDF again, or you can send it by email. So maybe your agent set up this report and they sent it to Mr. Client and they want to go back in and send it to Mrs. Client. They have that opportunity. It'll always stay on that dashboard. But again, you can delete it as well. So jumping back to quarterly, so you can see I have none on my dashboard because I haven't created one yet. So the way that your agents will create one is just click the new button. It lets you name it. You can add your contacts right from here. You choose the market area you want by clicking browse. And based on the MLS in which you sit, it's going to give you those areas. It gives you the list by alphabetical order, but if you click right here where it says search, you can search for anything that you type in. So again, this is based on the MLS in which you guys operate. And then once you go through this, you can do the email subject line yourself, choose what that would be. And then if you want that tag line after the subject line, you can do that as well. Once all the information is filled in, you have the option to preview, or you can save and send right then and there. In order to get the PDF, that is when you click preview. It'll let you preview the report, and then at that point, you can download that PDF. If you come over here, and again, we're just in the reports menu right here. So we talked about contacts. You can import, export, but nothing will come over automatically. You can put those clients into groups. And then if you go into reports, you have area, market, and quarterly. The analytics here are, again, just like what your home page was tracking, it's going to give you the report status. So you can see here the open rate, the click rate. So the agents are really able to track the activity on the emails that they're sending out. So that is what the analytics would be right here. It even gives you a hot contacts. So if you have 5 contacts that have gone into the report multiple times, it's going to rank them on the ones that are doing the most activity with the Prospect Square assets that are being sent out. So not only do we have those great reports, but we also have property emails. So you can see right here, property emails, create emails. And this is how your agents can market their listings. Just like listings to leads, which is another option, right? We have this option now with Prospect Square, and it does feed over from the MLS. If your agent is in more than one MLS, they have the option to toggle back and forth. So you can see right here, it'll tell you which one they're residing in, and they have the option to choose a different one if they would like. They can search by address or MLS number. They can search by just having actives, whatever it might be, just search and find that property. That the system will create that listing property email that can be then also emailed just like the reports or saved as a PDF. So again, just a lot of great opportunity for your agents to use this to do those e-marketing type activities. And then the last option here is Marketing Center. So I did that kind of fast. Let me go back and show you. So that is our last option on our menu list. That's on the right, Marketing Center. That does, you can see it launches a new kind of dashboard platform. So it has another tab up here. All the other things that we were in reside in that same window. Marketing Center does create a new window. So this is what our drip campaign option looks like in Prospect Square. We still have our great drip campaigns in Moxie. Zap is still a viable option at this time, but we do now have Prospect Square. You can send one-time emails, which can be kind of nice if you have an agent that just wants to get out some quick communication. Maybe they sat in an open house and maybe they got 30 email addresses and they just want to send something out fast. They can come in here and you can see their sharp graphics. The verbiage can be updated as they choose. And there's holidays, there's things about home buying, and a lot of different one-time emails they can send. And you can see down here in the lower right, you can flip through the pages. So some of the navigation in Prospect Square doesn't jump out at you, so it's like in your face to click. So you just always want to look for those options at the bottom of the page. And then there is a campaign library. So this operates just like the drip campaigns in Zap or Moxie. Again, this is just one more option for the agents. And of course, you can search campaigns, you can filter them by what type they are. Is it calendar based? Is it date based? Is it interval based? And then it tells you right on this dashboard how many emails are in that drip. So this one has 4, home security tips has 12, energy saving tips have 12, so on and so forth. There's a seller campaign, and just like we have in Moxie, there's a holiday campaign as well. This first time buyer campaign can be a really good option for your agents. If you see all the way over to the right, there's that little plus sign. This is how you can add it to your campaigns. The agent can rename them if they want to. They can choose which contact groups will be getting this, and then they just click add to my campaign. Once it's added to the campaign, this is where your agent can go back to edit it. So in my campaigns, it'll have the list of all their campaigns that are running. So they can create a campaign right from here as well by scratch, by pulling in those emails, or they can add it from the campaign library. Again, back in the library, if they click on the number of emails, it's going to go through and show the agent what is in that drip campaign. So it will go through and show what it looks like, what it is. If they want to preview it, they click on the eyeball. If they want to edit it and make a change for that particular campaign, they can click copy, and then it'll allow them to copy everything over, but then they can edit it as they see fit. So we are getting to the last minute of our session. So just to recap real quick while I wait for questions, and I don't know that there are any, but let me check. Mike out of our Paradise region asked about the Indian River MLS. I will ask for an update on that, Mike. We did have 1 or 2 out of our 19 MLSs deny the feed for this. Indian River being one of them. So Mike, I will definitely get an update on that. We have a contact over at IDC Global, so I will make sure I get you an update after this call. So to recap, if you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat box. Prospect Square is launched from my CB desk. Again, it may not be up here because it may be somewhere else on your dashboard. You can always scroll down and click Show All, type it up here in the search box, and then once you find it, you click on it, and it will launch you into Prospect Square. Again, I highly recommend this product tour because it will walk the agents through all the features that this product offers for them. My profile is where they'll want to go to make sure that their contact information is correct. If they do need their headshot updated, again, we want to feed that through from Dash, so head to transaction plan to make sure that that is updated so that it's hitting on all of our platforms when it comes to all of the products brought to us from our brand. And then over to the left is where all of our menu options are. We can add contacts, we can import them. They do not sync over to any other product, including Zap or Moxie. They do have to be added in Prospect Square manually. Now that could be one by one, that could be the import. The agents have the opportunity to put those contacts into groups, and then they have the options for area, market, or quarterly reports. They have their analytics so they can track the success of the email campaigns they're sending out. They have the opportunity to market properties right here through property emails. And then if they click on Marketing Center, it does launch them into a different platform where they can go to My Campaigns, they can do one-time emails, and they can create their own campaigns from scratch as well.
Hey, Carrie.
Go ahead, JD.
One quick thing in contacts, too. I don't think I heard you mention this in terms of importing contacts. There is also a Gmail sync option that I've seen in the settings where, similar to Moxie, again, it's not going to sync with Moxie, but similar to Moxie, you can sync with Gmail, and I believe I saw Outlook, and you can get a kind of automatic sync like that too, which is another option to get contacts over into Prospect Square.